Welcome to Turn Right Machine Works. My name is Keith, and today we're here and we finally got a piece in here. We're going to touch bases on the face-off competition, and of course it started with a project I had, and I had this is actually a drop off of the part that I had, and I'm going to show you the parts that I was cutting in just a minute. But this is a piece of 8620. And I was running a job and I thought, hey, let's test out those inserts that Adam sent me. So I put one in my turning tool and one in my boring tool, and I went ahead and used those for the job and was cutting with them. I got to looking at the face cut and I go, man, this is getting boring. Of course, anytime you got to take more than a couple passes, take off a 1/4 inch off the face, or at least a 3/16 of an inch off the face, you want to get through that part of the job as fast as possible. It gets to be tiring, boring, sitting there watching your tool bit cut away. So I decided to go ahead and start increasing the feed rate until it was just like singing it off of there, and it was quick enough to where you weren't bored, definitely. So I pushed it to actually see, put some working load on the machine, and I did a pretty good job at that as well. This all was just fun. I was having a fun day, and I was rocking out to the radio, and you can see on my Facebook, it's still posted on there. And I just used my S4 phone and took a little video series of it and threw it up on my Facebook page, and then Adam took it from there and ran with it, and then of course Tom jumped into it and everything else. So you got to see what they were all referencing and how it all started. So here's a glimpse of the actual footage that I was posting on Facebook, just testing out Adam's inserts. Alright, we're back from the video there that I did and put on my Facebook there, and of course I had to edit out the music in the background. So what I have is, I got this material set up here, and I went ahead and I grabbed the insert that I was using. Now, we already kind of know, I had this set up almost in a straight push here. Alright, now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and pull this insert out here. We already kind of know how that works in that push position there. So we're going to pull this insert out, and I'm going to pull this holder out of here. Monkey shit or something on there. Okay. Maybe it's just been in there so long. Alright, what I'm doing is I got the same style holder, but the other hand, this is a left hand, and that was a right hand. And I'm gonna put this in just so I can get 2 Allens in here on it. I like to have this Allen here. This is shortened up because it's normally set up in my other holder there, and for some reason I think I had it cut short for one job or another. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our insert into this holder. Because I want to test, I mean, we did the push off the end, but I want to do a cut off of the normal side of cutting, meaning, and I'm going to go ahead, because I've been cutting on this, and the test is on the inserts, and that's what I'm doing. Adam asked me to check this out, so I want to keep going on the same cutting edge, because I'm not just testing for being able to cut with this insert and how it performs, but also how long does it last. And so far, both of the inserts that I was testing, the boring and the turning, I was able to, so far, do the whole job with that insert. Alright, now that I got this in this holder here, we're going to be testing a series of these holders. Because I've shown you what this insert does in the push, so we're going to try it on in the regular left-hand cutting mode across the face, and then I have 3 other bits that I want to compare. Competition should be within yourself and your machine. I showed you what this one did, pushing the insert, doing the test. I was having fun, doing a pretty good load, almost stalled the machine out. But this age of machine, spur teeth, gearing, the 2-speed rear motor instead of having a gearbox to break down the speeds. So that's kind of why this one might fall on its face before, with the amount of load that I have. But true good competition would be all 3 of us being on the same machine, handed the same tools, same inserts, blah blah blah, go for it. However you can do your little trick magic or whatever. That would be a 100% fair competition. But what was great is Adam jumped in after me, and then Tom jumped in, and each one of us showed you a little bit of how we use each of our own lathes and the amount of load that can come on them, and also the 3 different lathes there of what kind of horsepower and load you can actually create in the same kind of scenario, a face cut coming off, and we're all now my feed actually says that I'm doing 30. I put my indicator across there, and it's actually 30 off the diameter. I'm actually whizzing across here at 15 thousandths per side revolution, as each revolution is 15 thousandths of advancement, and that's that's what I told Adam I was running right off the bat. But Now let's go ahead, and I've seen it doing a push. I want to go ahead and see if I can't get a bigger chip. The same material. Of course, I don't have a bore in it. I'm not going to bother boring it. I want to know that I can grab this outside edge right here and come in with 4 different inserts, or actually 2 different inserts and 2 brazed carbide tool bits. And let's just see what's going on. Alright, now I'm not going to come in straight. I'm going to give it just a little bit of a lead angle here. Alright, now this is the very first insert, and this is the Iscar insert that I showed the label up on the video there. Let's get our feeds in point here, and wrong helmet. I did I really did like Tom really pointing out that the hot chips fly all over, and he showed you the hot chips melted into different things, the pan and everything else. It can also, in a travel dial, and even my face on my travel dial is pretty well burned up with some chips there. Also, another thing, you want to make sure that you keep acetone and splashing on your plastic, stuff like that. It tends to fog out the screen. I do, in fact, sometimes I will wear gloves. Not that I'm going to get my hands in here close to it, but sometimes wearing gloves, when you have to shut off your machine and there's a flying row of chips or a stringy chip or something coming out, and I mean, you get, you know, some pretty good burns on your hands. All right, so every once in a while I will wear gloves to go ahead and operate the lathe, and not that I'm going to get my hands up in here where I might get snagged with a glove on and get drug in or whatever, but just to handle the hands, you got to be able to shut off your machine if you need to shut off your machine. You always want that. Also too, you know, face guard is good, and if you're really going to be into it, that's the only way that you can keep a chip from going down inside, unless it burns through. And I've had chips ignite frayed jeans and all kinds of different things like that. And having a face shield, you got eye protection, but nothing worse than catching a hot chip here or there, just like a spark going in your ear, arc welding, and all the same kind of thing. Just, I mean, you're pushing the limits, and you got to act fast sometimes. And if you're screaming around because you're on fire or you got a hot chip, you're not going to be as effective shutting off your equipment. All right, this is the Iscar insert here. We're going to give this a first try here. We're all set up and we got the right speeds, and I do like my lighter gloves here, just in case I need to grab a hold. All right, now this is running out just a little bit here, and so we're going to touch off and we're going to smooth that out. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to probably touch off, and we're going to create 50 thousandths, even though it's a wavy cut there. We'll take 50, so it'll be going 50 and then whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that was almost 3/4 of the way there. Now it's cutting a little bit different than it was when the pushing mode, okay? So let's go ahead and we're going to jack in a little bit more here. And I say I'm going to go ahead and crank in 75 here. We'll see if it'll take 75. Okay, now it's not going to take the 75. Okay, now, and that's probably as close as I can show you stalling my machine out. I watched on my video there and you really can't hear it stall out, and I didn't think I heard Adam's or Tom's lathe stall out. Alright, next one I'm going to throw in here. The CNMP. Still a negative insert, but it's got a positive action to it. Can it handle that 75 any better than the CNMG? Alright, let's see. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to hit that face where it is, I'm going to see if I can pick up from where that was at. There we go. No. Alright, so either one of them can't handle the load. Now, lots of times all you have is carbide, or you have brazed carbide tool bit. And we're going to go ahead, and this is a plain brazed carbide tool bit. I got two of them here. I got one flat top, and I have one that I created a chip breaking groove in it. Alright, so I just wanted to try those two out just to compare them to the inserts that I'm normally running. Alright, now we'll try this at this depth here. Actually, first we'll touch out the face and we'll see if we can grab 50 thousandths of it. We'll see if it handles at least what we know the other two can handle. First off, I can already see that I'm not even close to being on center here. Okay, let's get it. Okay, touched off, here's 50,000. Okay, you know, they did pretty good. At least a pretty nice finish. Alright. I really don't think that would take 70 either. Now, here's the same exact bit. It's been ground on and shortened and everything else. And I've dressed this up. And I've ground a little brake top to it, but it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same bit. It's actually the same manufacturer and everything else, and it's a BR75 AL12. Alright, let's make sure we're on center here as well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and touch off of here and then come out. I'm going to go 50 and then come in and then we'll pick up that 50 where that register is there. Okay. From that spot right there, we're 50 thousandths deep. Now we're going to make the push across. We'll see the difference of the chip breaker top versus the flat top. Alright, one I was looking at, okay, and see how that comes off and it's gold and a little tighter, and it actually comes off and it's laying flat, versus this one here, which is actually standing on the end and it's a lot of color and everything else. It takes more force to come off the flat than it does to go ahead and put a chip breaker in there, and this is the importance of going ahead and adding in a chip breaker. Of course, when you get in here close to the center, this amount of coarseness comes in here. It's not liking it as well when you've got the right speed out here. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to touch off of here and I'm going to go ahead and sneak up on it. Let's see if we can get 60 out of this bit. Okay, alright, there's 60. Alright, now we're going to touch off of here and we're going to try 70. Alright, now that proves right now, taking a brazed tool bit and grinding in my own relief there, I'm actually able to get a little bit more. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, a little competition. Now you can hear that it's almost stalling it out, just like I did with the 50 thousandths with the insert. Alright, and the proof in the pudding that actually the chip breaker causes less tool chip heat is proof right there. You saw that. Alright, here's the question. That was 70. Can I hold out without stalling it at 80? Okay, I'm not going to push it anymore, and I think I've actually shown you the top end of my lathe and a couple different cutting tool bits and inserts. I want to show you a little actual thickness or width of cut. This first chip that was done with the Iscar CNMP is measuring about 75 thousandths on the width. The reason why I'm showing you this is because we were at a slight angle. I did feed in directly straight in, but the angle cut gives you a little bit more on each one. All right, that was 75 on that one there. It was about 73. 73, 70, just a couple different, there's 75. So at that angle, 50 was giving me pretty close to 75. And on this one here, same thing. We're getting 65, 70, 75 right there. All right, then the first cut that we did on this, and we were looking for the 50 thousandths, right under 70. And then when we kicked in the 80 thousandths, we're actually cutting 100 thousandths on the width there. Not that I'm trying to increase the capabilities of the machine. That speaks for itself. Okay, the whole idea is I was showing you the best that I can pull off of this clothing. And I also wanted to go ahead and touch bases on insert versus brazed tool bit, and then also to end the question that was always that this causes called a chip breaker in the old times. That's what I was told that this grooving in here was called. And I mean, we all know that the faster you feed, you can create a break in a chip. But what this chip breaker groove does, it still lets it break at the same thing, maybe even a little easier, because the chip material is going in and then having to turn real quick. But the positive action makes a big difference in the heat of your chip. All right, just wanted to touch bases on what we ended up, and I kind of gathered up what I found in the chip pan here of what was peeling off as we went along. And of course the positive action in the CNMP gives a curly chip versus this one really snapping them off. And there again, that little lighter color, a little darker color, a little lighter color, a little darker color. And the brazed tool bit, don't throw them away. All right, still damn good. There you have it. There's the start of the face-off. and I hope I added something in there that's worthwhile. All right, get her done.